Well, the Mariners making a pretty big splash, bringing back Sebastian Vidmar for another season. Sebastian joining the Mariners in March, right before the trade deadline last season, and finishing the year here. And he joins us now. Sebastian, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Happy to be here. Happy to be Maine Mariners' newest signing.
Absolutely. I think a lot of the fans will be excited to have you back. I feel like we just kind of scratched the surface of your game as a Mariner last year. Obviously, you played 12 games down the stretch, and then injury kept you out of the playoffs. But overall, how did you find your experience as a Mariner last season?
I I loved it. I love the setup. I love the staff. I think uh, my injury at the end of the year came at the worst time you can get an injury, basically. Um, but I definitely saw a lot of potential and very excited to come back and my hands back to 100 and have a fresh start.
Well, tell us about that injury. Obviously, I'm sure it was frustrating to have to watch the whole playoff series from outside the rink. But how has your recovery been this summer?
The recovery has been great. The surgical team out there in Portland, they're all rock stars. It was super smooth recovery. I was back to 100% pretty much a month and 6 weeks after the surgery. So, but yeah, no, it came at a terrible time, and uh, watching playoffs in the stands is it's it's tough. It's you get all the nerves that you cannot the adrenaline takes away while you play, but in the stands you cannot the nerves never go away. So it's tough to seeing the team and not being able to help, especially since it came down to the wire there against the Thunder, the game 7, which yeah, a couple bounces, and I think we would have been gone a lot further.
Yeah, especially against your former team. I'm sure you would have liked to be a part of that. But speaking of that, even though you guys came up short in the series, it was a very hard fought series. You guys were definitely underdogs, and you, as you said, pushed the top seeded Thunder to 7 games. So how can the group take that momentum into the new season?
Uh, you can definitely take it with you. It's playoff hockey. I think a lot of the guys coming back, they know, they kind of know what it takes, and uh, a, a nail biter like that, game 7, it's gonna stick with you, and I know a lot of those guys are coming back, and we'll definitely have that in the back of our heads, and overall, I think it will help us and fuel us.
Now, you were having, I think it's fair to say, kind of a down season with Savannah. Your production wasn't at the levels it had been the previous few years, but I thought you played pretty well with the Mariners. Did you feel like that change of scenery helped you out?
Definitely, definitely. It always does when you get in the kind of a, what's the word, performance dip.
Mhm.
You try new things and you try to switch things up. Obviously, getting traded it kind of did it for me. So it was a good way to just let loose and trust my game, and with that being said, though, I still think I had a lot more to give to end the year, but I've had a great off season, kept up. So I'm really just so excited to get back out there and help the team the best way I can.
You've been around the league quite a while now, and considering that this team is going to have some turnover in the leadership department, do you feel as if you will be one of the leaders on this team coming into the new season?
I always try to lead by example. I don't. I would never just step into that role. It's kind of it kind of grows, like the team kind of with the decides and gravitate. Like I'm just trying to obviously I try to help younger guys the best I can with stuff and on and off the ice, little tips. But I really just try to focus on my own game, and then if that leads to guys following and whatnot, that's it. But it's not something I strive for. It's more just by example.
And we'll get you out of here on one last question. What would you say some of your goals are coming into your first full season in Maine?
The Kelly Cup
I
for
like
sure.
that. Let's just keep it short and simple right there.
Yeah.
Cut that clip, and that'll be the rallying cry for the season. I like it. All right, Sebastian, appreciate the time. Looking forward to having you here for training camp and getting a full season out of you. And thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Jared.